Oh, yeah.
Finally broke down and got us some.
No, yeah. Broke.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Wednesday, September 4th, 2024 Town of Bernardston Select Board meeting. Call the meeting to order. This meeting is being broadcast live on BNC TV and live streamed on YouTube. To find BNC TV on YouTube, go to youtube.com and search for Bernardston-Northfield Community Television. This meeting will be available for later viewing by following the link at townofbernardston.org. You can also watch channel 1075 on your Comcast dial in Bernardston. First order of business, the warrants. I would entertain a motion for the payroll warrant in the amount of $55,986.12.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I would entertain a motion for the vendor warrant in the amount of $62,233.97.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We have a series of meeting minutes to approve. I would entertain a motion for the regular meeting minutes of August 7th, 2024.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion?
I wasn't there, so I can't vote.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I would entertain a motion for the special meeting minutes of August 12th, 2024.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion?
Same, I wasn't there.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I would entertain a motion for the regular meeting minutes of August 21st, 2024, and I'm abstaining for this, so.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I would entertain a motion for the special meeting minutes of August 29th, 2024.
So-
Again, I wasn't there, so I'm abstaining.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Got that out of the way. Calendar and announcements. The Northfield Regional Food Pantry has opened a new shed. It's not a new shed, it's an old shed. A shed at the Bernardston Transfer Station for Bernardston residents to donate their returnable bottles and cans. The Little Red Shed has plastic bags for aluminum and plastic containers and glass cases on the floor. Please, no trash and only returnable containers. Planning Board meeting is scheduled for Thursday, September 5th at 1 p.m. at Town Hall. Board of Health meeting is scheduled for Thursday, September 5th at 3:30 p.m. Town Hall. The Board of Health is hosting Massachusetts Assistant Attorney General, and you're going to help me with the name.
Maya Kazmierczak.
Say that again?
Maya Kazmierczak.
Okay, easy for you to say. Of the Neighborhood Renewal Division. At this meeting, Assistant AG Kazmierczak will present the details of the Neighborhood Renewal Program and what benefits of joining the program there may be for the town of Bernardston. The Neighborhood Renewal Division, NRD, is a new division created from the Attorney General's Abandoned Housing Initiative to turn abandoned residential properties around. For more information on the program, please visit the Attorney General's Neighborhood Renewal Division website at mass.gov. Cushman Library Open House. Come reacquaint yourself with the Cushman Library and meet the new library director, Lori Novus, this Saturday, September 7th from 11 to 2 p.m. Finance Committee meeting is scheduled for Monday, September 9th at 6:30 p.m. at the Town Hall. The three-town joint finance committee and select board meeting is scheduled on Thursday, September 12th at 6:30 PM. It says the town hall. I believe it's Powers.
No, it's town hall because we're getting the floors redone. So we
okay.
moved
So
it
it
to
will be the town hall.
Yes.
All right. We get a good crowd for that one. The new town website. The new town website will launch on Friday, September 13th, 2024. So we're down to the last few days. The town of Bernardston has partnered with Civic Plus, a provider of integrated technology solutions exclusively for local governments. Some of the improved website features include a mobile optimized design, mobile as in cell phone, that ensures citizens can easily navigate and interact with content from any desktop computer, smartphone, or tablet anytime, anywhere. Boy, that's a lot of promise. An alert center functionality that will alert citizens with time-sensitive information. Calendar functionality allows citizens to stay informed about the scheduling of important local events, including public meetings, activities, community events, and other valuable opportunities for engagement. And residents will be able to easily pay bills and submit forms and applications. All town bills?
Some department town
And
services.
that
Some-
will roll
yes.
out over time?
Most of it's going to be ready on the 13th.
Terrific.
Yeah, it's all set.
Once it is launched, residents can send in their feedback and comments by clicking on Contact Us from the homepage.
May I add one thing?
Please.
It is an ADA compliant website too, just FYI.
Okay?
So,
That's good.
yes.
Veterans Memorial Dedication on Saturday, September 14th at 11 a.m. at the Cushman Park Veterans Memorial. The Veterans Memorial Committee will host an event in honor of the enhancements made to the current memorial through the Veterans Heritage Grant Program. The event will include a keynote speaker from the Upper Pioneer Valley Veterans Office in Greenfield, live music from the Falltown String Band, and much, much more. We have some dignitaries coming in.
We do, and I left that off. I
Okay.
apologize.
No, that's good.
I wasn't sure if that is a for sure thing, right?
Yes.
yes,
Marvin
Senator-
Shedd has
yeah.
worked his rear end off to get some high-power people there. Yes,
Senator
Congressman McGovern.
Congressman McGovern will be there. Yes.
yes. Hazardous Waste Collection Day is scheduled for Saturday, September 21st, 2024 at Greenfield Community College campus and at Orange Transfer Station. Pre-registration is required by September 13th. Residents can access the event flyer and pre-registration link from the homepage on the town website. On the new website or the old website, or both?
Both.
Okay. Town email migration cutover. Employees of the town of Bernardston are scheduled to migrate and cut over from RoundCube to Microsoft Outlook on September 26th. Email migration cutover is a one-time process that moves all data, mailboxes, contacts, calendars, public folders, etc., from the RoundCube email system to Microsoft Outlook, with the entire organization moving at a single point in time. It is the fastest and simplest form of migration. The cutover task itself can take under an hour to perform. Town employees can start using the new mail system immediately. The email migration may affect email services temporarily on September 26th, so please be patient with us. Citizens' concerns. Patricia Kinsella, would you please? And everybody,
Yes.
we have
Come on
enough
up.
chairs for everybody?
Yes.
We do?
Have.
Okay.
Sit right in the center, Sarah, and
Uh-oh.
and I'll go down there later if you want to sit here.
It's hard to hide from the camera. You need to sit behind the post.
Yeah.
Otis will get you.
And Brian, nice to see you.
So, Patricia Kinsella, Superintendent of the Pioneer Valley School District, is here this evening to introduce Ann Scanlon.
Amy.
Say again?
Amy.
Not Ann.
No, Ann Scanlon. That's
Amy. Okay, that's how you pronounce
Thank you.
that.
That's how you
Wow.
pronounce it.
Yeah, she knew better than to let you
New
say
principal of PVRS, and Sarah Burstein, I blew it, new principal of Bernardston Elementary School. Okay, so,
Thank you. Thank you
Please.
for inviting our new administrators. I'd like to recognize and welcome Raina Dastu, School
Oh.
Committee Chair for the district.
welcome.
Select Board, so you have received the resumes for
Yep.
our two wonderful new administrators. So I'm just going to introduce super briefly and ask them to say hello, and then open it to questions.
No speeches?
No speeches. Sarah Burstein might have a speech, Annie might have a speech. But
I did not.
Hi, Jane. It's nice to see you. Sarah Burstein comes to us from Gil Montague. Sarah was a principal there for 10 years. She was also the director of the early childhood program for the entire district. Sarah is a member of our community. She has lived in Northfield for, well, I'm going to let you say, Sarah lives in our community.
Yes,
Go ahead, Sarah.
I've lived in our community since 2006. I lived on campus at Northfield Mount Herman on the Mount Herman campus from 2006 through 2023, and I moved to Main Street in Northfield in 2023.
Great. Welcome.
Tell us a little bit about, how you're finding BES, what
Sure.
drew you to this community.
I'm finding BES to be an incredibly warm, welcoming community, and every time I speak to someone within the community about my new role at BES, they say to me, "You've inherited a gem." I've heard that expression many, many times, and it seems to be true. It's a school that's filled with really dedicated educators, lots of great energy, families from both Bernardston and Leiden who really want to be involved and are open to adding to the community and being part of improvement efforts. So far, it's really been a lovely experience. What drew me to BES really was the opportunity to stay within my community and also to be at a school where children spent the bulk of their childhood. The opportunity to engage with and impact students' education from pre-K all the way to grade 6 is really exciting to watch that growth. So those are the pieces that drew me here, and I'm really looking forward to rolling up my sleeves and learning more about the community and supporting the learning. We've got a lot of really good initiatives started and a lot of hard work to put in to make those come to fruition.
Great.
Great.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Well,
Thanks.
Annie Scanlon, Annie Scanlon Amy, comes to us from South Hadley, where she was the assistant principal for a large middle school, 511 students
Wow.
in middle school. Annie has extensive experience as an educator, also as an instructional coach, which I think is a terrific training ground to make the leap from being a classroom teacher to being an administrator, because an instructional coach has to develop credibility with the educators they're serving. They don't have necessarily positional authority, so all of the leverage they are able to use comes from the trust that they build with their teachers. So, Annie, tell us about the decision to come here and how you're finding Pioneer.
Well, I would echo some of the things that Sarah said about Bernardston, in that I feel like I'm really lucky to have landed in a spot with educators and families and students who are so committed and involved. I stepped into the role over the summer, and teachers aren't in school during the summer, and so you never know kind of what you're going to walk into. Like I said, just me sitting alone in an office for a summer, and I did not find that at all, where teachers were reaching out all summer long because they wanted to immediately get started on the work of the school year. So that has been really great, as to have such a willing partnership with the teachers that are at the school and who know the community best and who know the students best. And I guess what draws me to Pioneer is I grew up in a small rural community. I grew up in Rochester, Vermont, which is about the size of Leiden. It does have a downtown, so feels a little bit more like Bernardston, but its population is the size of Leiden. And so thinking about, how do we serve rural communities with high quality schools? And then I taught in a 7 through 12, and kind of to Sarah's point, that you get to see a whole arc. That when students are only with you for 3-4 years, you kind of feel like you've just gotten to know them, and then they're leaving you already. And when you have them for an extended period of time, you really get to know a kid, and especially in small communities, you get to know a whole family, because a lot of times you're dealing with the same family for a decade. because they've got multiple kids that are going through the district, and that's just a great opportunity that doesn't happen in a school where you have a shorter grade span. So.
Great.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Excellent. Welcome. Thank
Could we do the reintroduction over here too? And then same kind of thing?
So I'm Raina Dastu. I'm the chair of the school committee. I live in Northfield. We moved to Northfield in 2018, and my children were in 4th and 6th grade at NES when we moved. And we moved here from Eastern Mass, so from Beverly, Massachusetts, which was north of Boston, and it's we wanted a change in lifestyle. We wanted to live in a rural area, and we were really drawn to this area, and the quality of the schools was a selling point because our children were in the middle of it. So we love this town, and I joined the school committee in November of 2020 as a write-in candidate.
Tough year to join. Yeah.
It was a challenging time to join, but education is very important to me. It's important to my family. I think it's a really it's so important to forming the future citizens of our communities. The future leaders are being educated in our schools today, and I think that's it's a labor of love. It's not sometimes it's a very daunting task, but it's also a really important job to be able to help preserve the quality of our schools and the education of our kids, and what's more important than educating our kids.
Raina has recently, her day job brings her even closer.
So I'm in the 3rd year of, so I was a nurse midwife, so I caught babies for about 20 years before we moved out here, and took a break from that, and decided I wanted a different kind of schedule, and I'm in my 3rd year of school nursing at Frontier.
Wow.
So I can really relate to building that relationship over time with students, seeing them mature and grow and become different people. And it's just so interesting at the start of the school year to see these students that how they've changed and matured, and they look different and they act different sometimes. Sometimes it's the same. But I'm really enjoying that and getting to know the families. So
One of the challenges of the school committee is the open spots representing the towns, and the recruitment process, and trying to find people that are willing to serve. And it's not always a fun job, particularly during budget season, but you got strategy for that?
We're reaching out to members of the community, and we have developed, which I'll share with select board members. We have a one-page kind of what does a school committee member do, and what are our duties, and what's involved with the job.
So since you're on TV here, free commercial.
Free airtime.
Yeah. They would contact you. What's the process?
So they can contact me for information. The school committee has responsibility for approving the budget, developing and approving the budget for the district. We dictate policy, so we help approve policy and form policy for the day-to-day operations are the job of the superintendent, and the school committee is responsible for hiring and evaluating the superintendent's performance. So those are our 3 main tasks. We meet regularly.
How frequently?
So typically we're working towards most months once a month, and some of the busier times, like in January when we're looking at January and February for budget season, we are meeting twice. So there's a couple of months where we have 2 meetings in a month, and then there's some subcommittee meetings that happen depending on the work that needs to be done, typically once a month.
You're looking for parents of students?
Any community members that are interested in education. Parents of students are always welcome. I know that having a young family is challenging and it takes a lot of time, so you don't have a lot of free time. But, if someone has a little bit of wiggle room in their life, and a willing partner.
Is it appropriate to, if someone is interested, to go and sit in on a committee meeting?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, our committee meetings are also televised
They're
through
posted on our
BNCTV.
board,
We post them regularly on our website, and the district website has a section for the school committee.
And they're all open meetings, so anybody
Yep,
can go.
and they're all
Okay.
open meetings. Yeah.
And all the school committee members have district email addresses, and those addresses are readily available on the district website. If you go to the district website, on the upper right, you'll see a menu item for school committee. Click on that, there's a drop-down menu. One of the items is members. If you click on that, it'll show you all the current members, the towns they represent, and it gives you their email address.
Am I correct that Bernardston is missing one
Yes.
position, one seat? Correct.
Yeah.
Yep, so
It has an open seat in the November election.
Okay,
Yes.
so we need to recruit somebody.
Yes. And at this point, the deadline for registering as a candidate, a certified candidate, has passed.
Right.
So at this point,
Be a
folks would
write-in.
need to be write-in candidates.
Okay.
Right.
Well, thank you all. Welcome,
Thank you. Yeah.
please.
Thanks for coming.
And
Thank
feel
you.
free to come to select
Yeah.
board meeting and chime in.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Great
guys.
rest of your meeting.
Appreciate it. Next up is Jen Reynolds, Tax Work-Off Program. On April 29th, 2024, at annual town meeting, the town voted and approved Article 35 to adopt Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 59, Section 5K and 5N, to implement a tax work-off program in fiscal year 2026, which will allow seniors and veterans to work off certain amounts of their taxes as provided for in the law. This evening, the Select Board is prepared to appoint qualified and interested Bernardston residents who are broadly representative of the town to the new Tax Work-Off Program Committee. The Tax Work-Off Program Committee is charged with establishing work-off program requirements such as income eligibility, hours, and skills necessary. The program must be consistent with the town's bylaws as well as state and federal regulations. Procedures for the application, interview, and placement process will adhere to the Bernardston personnel policies and procedures to be consistent with employee onboarding policies. In addition, program goals, program requirements, eligibility criteria, maximum amount of abatement, income tax implications, program dates and deadlines, job placement for a tax credit position must be developed by the committee and approved by the Select Board. Jen Reynolds, Council on Aging Director, is here this evening to speak on her initial thoughts about the program and way forward for the committee. I would entertain a motion.
Oh, no.
Not yet?
Not yet.
Go ahead, speak.
So I'm here to recommend people for the
Okay.
committee.
Yep.
I want every area to be represented as well as it can be. So I'm recommending, we have Jane Dutcher from the Finance Committee. I also want to recommend that we have a select person, perhaps Ken, because I like the meetings during the day. Because I also would like Jill from the assessor's office on. She generally can meet during the day. And then I would like a senior representative. I had one senior that's been asking all kinds of questions since town meeting that's very interested, Edith Riddle. And then veteran I've been approached by with questions about the program is Rich DeGeorge from Bald Mountain Road. And I would like Karen to sit in on it, you know, not only as a town coordinator, but
I'll be the clerk. I'll
the
be
clerk.
Take the minutes.
So you got your committee, pretty much.
I think, you know, with your approval,
Mm-hmm.
and, you know, we definitely want input from all departments. That doesn't mean, you know, if a person's not on the committee, they can't make recommendations or talk to us or,
Right.
you know, and we, you know, it's a really big collaboration between the assessor, the collector, you know, the people that are gonna be coming up with these jobs. The finance department's very critical because they can help us make sound decisions on how many or what the deduction will be. And then, of course, HR is gonna have to get involved because we're gonna have to hire these people and pay them per se.
Yeah, there's very strict state guidelines to follow. other
Yeah,
than
there's very strong.
Making individualized to our town, which is
Yeah.
what you're gonna work on, right?
And what we can afford and
Yep.
how we can help seniors and how we can help the town by filling some positions that we could use help with.
Well, then I'll make a motion to appoint the following individuals to the new Tax Work-Off Program Committee effective September 4th, 2026 is the Tax Work-Off Program when it begins.
Yes.
Jen Reynolds, the COA Director, Ken Bordeweek as the Select Board Representative, Jane Dutcher as the Finance Committee Chair, Richard DeGeorge as the Representative of Veterans Population, Edith Riddle, Representative of the Senior Population, Joe Watrous, the Assessor's Office, and for Karen Kelly to be a non-voting member, help take minutes and help kind of keep everything organized for that.
Second.
Any discussion? Motion.
Is this about the, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Is this about the size of the committee you're looking at? Like,
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
yeah. You know, there's always gonna be room for input,
Oh, sure.
but
Yeah,
I think having a tight committee like
Yeah.
that is well representative.
To make it go quicker too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have open meetings and,
Yep.
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
be announced and
Yeah, that'd be
agendas.
great.
All
So
those in
next step.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks for doing that.
Yeah.
That's the next
Thank you.
natural
Happy
step.
to.
When's our
Thank
first
you.
meeting?
I can do next week. I'm not.
We'll figure it out.
just gonna be watching floor sanding.
Where we
There you go.
We can meet here,
While they're doing the floors, yeah.
you know.
Right.
So I'll set up an email and an agenda and make sure we can get it posted in
Yeah.
time.
Great.
Edith will have to call in by phone. She's not gonna
Yep.
be available next week.
I thought we were saying the end of the month. I thought we talked about that. Yeah, we'll
They
figure it out.
wanna get moving.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
we'll
fine.
do.
Let's get moving.
2026 is coming fast.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Lot of
Appreciate the
details.
work. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay, terrific. All righty.
Thanks, Jen.
New
Yeah.
business. New Select Board licensing procedure, stationary amusement devices. This sounds exciting. The town of Bernardston has received a request for an automatic amusement device permit from a vendor that would like to install an automatic amusement device in Antonio's Pizza. The device is a coin-operated automatic toy claw crane machine. The installment of the automatic amusement devices on public premises require a license under Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 140, Section 177A. An annual fee needs to be determined by the Select Board along with the approval of the application for license for automatic amusement device. The town administrator determined an annual fee averages around the Commonwealth are $100 per machine. I would entertain a motion to approve the application for license for automatic amusement device at an annual fee of $100 per machine.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
That's interesting.
Yeah, I
All those
know.
in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Didn't realize you had to have such a bylaw, but
I didn't realize, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying, that's interesting, I didn't realize.
It's good. Well, we're off and running.
what's that?
Not a bylaw, it's the MGL.
Mass General, part of Mass General Law.
Alrighty, fiscal year community compact best practices grant proposed ideas. The application portal for the Massachusetts fiscal year 25 community compact best practice program is now open and will remain open for eligible municipalities until all funds are allocated. In order to coordinate the town's grant activities effectively and support the town's strategic priorities, department heads, chairs of boards, commissions, and committees are required to bring forth a proposed project or idea to the Select Board for approval. Some of the proposed project ideas include human resources best practices, explore the centralized human resources personnel operations to improve service delivery and build efficiencies. Second one would be public safety best practices, reflective number signs for every driveway property location. This will assist first responders, Responders cannot help if we cannot find you. This project will underpin our existing streets numbers bylaw, which states, item B, any structure which is not visible from the street or roadway shall have the assigned number posted on a suitable support at the entrance to the driveway that services such a structure. That's just an incredibly good idea. That's an editorial comment.
Yep.
Financial management best practices: prepare a capital improvement plan that reflects a community's needs. It's reviewed and updated annually and fits within a financial plan that reflects the community's ability to pay. Am I supposed to read that next?
No, you're supposed to discuss what maybe
Okay.
you guys want to do.
So we get to prioritize these three?
Regardless of, that was feedback I received from the department heads, those three that you
Okay.
just read. But if you had an opportunity to look at all of them, you're more than welcome to. But that was some feedback that I received from.
Well, Ken, to your
Department
point, I
heads.
think the public safety one is an awesome one to put on there for obvious reasons.
Yep.
Seems like a pretty easy one.
I agree, that seems pretty easy.
Does the finance committee not have a capital improvement?
We have been working with one for several years.
Yep. So I don't know, not sure that this is appropriate.
Okay.
Unless you feel that would help you, Jane, as the finance committee.
That's the question I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of
Yeah.
a diplomatic answer.
Right.
Go ahead.
The diplomatic answer is that the finance committee, or anything that happens there, does not generate the information that's needed for a capital plan. It has to be generated by the people who use the equipment and need the changes to their buildings. So it's input from that. It helps us to have our capital plan
Correct.
that we do have. Some departments, as Karen found out this week, just don't respond. Or have not in the past responded, or have responded in a way that's not helpful.
Okay.
I don't want to get into all the nitty-gritty details. But the structure's there, we work on it outside of the busy budget season, and hopefully it feeds the budget season. Sometimes when we bring up, this is what's on our capital plan for this year, it gets decided to be pushed off for financial reasons. And we've been working on that by trying to add to stabilization funds every year so that when big items come along, hopefully we have money in the bank, much like you have a savings account for, hopefully.
Would you be then in favor of adding this one to the,
I would put it far down on the list. There must be lots of other things that the town needs more.
okay.
Can I just add one
Since we
thing?
already have the structure, and if people cooperate with it, it's a good structure. And I got it from going to state workshops and coming back with the information.
Okay, go ahead.
I was thinking too that this could be used based off kind of what Jane said. If the structure's in place, by all means, but we could find someone to assess the town's capital. You could pay someone to come in and determine that. Like, for example, if I tried to put together my capital improvement plan for this building, the files to know when was the roof done last, when was the that's someone to assess that, to know when when it would need to be replaced. If you can't find, some people keep good records and that's not necessary, but to assess the level of our capital, that you could use the grant that way, not to do anything with, we already have the function in place, but someone to help us assess our capital equipment.
I think the town hall is the only one that's really missing in that category. I think
Yeah.
every other building is, and I think you probably know about this building too.
Yeah, it's
You might
somewhere.
not because you're kind of new here, but
Yeah,
A couple of years ago, the Selectboard met with each department and created a capital list of projects and tried to estimate, where possible, the costs of that. And we went around and we met on a...
And I went with you to.
Yes, I remember. And it was, I think, a successful program. It fed what you were talking about, the budget process. We didn't do it last year. We did it 2 years ago. I'm not sure we need, to your point, I'm not sure we
Yeah.
need an outside.
Doesn't sound like it, yeah.
And if we do that at least every other year, I
Yeah.
think that's,
Right.
was very helpful for me anyway. going around doing
Absolutely.
that.
And, you know, here's my suggestion on that. It should be every year,
Right.
but not every department every year.
Okay.
Because it was hard, it was time consuming to go to each one and really spend the amount of time that you should to get to the nitty gritty of what's going on and what's needed. And, you know, to stand and critically look at equipment or buildings and ask questions, that's not a 1 hour visit.
Right.
I mean, it might fit into an hour, but it usually didn't. So my thought is that if you split it, so that you're doing some every year, it would spread it out and make it a little easier.
Okay. Let's do that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And ask the,
And I think we did not do it in the winter time either.
No. We didn't.
so the town administrator, if you can get us on that program, that would be terrific.
We're talking which one? I'm sorry.
Well, the visits to the different departments.
The self-evaluation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the select board went, you would have gone, reps from the finance committee
Okay.
went, and we met with like Jen at the senior center.
Like a
Yep.
walkthrough.
And talked about things
Okay.
she knew of in the building and things we would
She
see.
had a list of 10 things that, on her wish list of items,
Okay.
and then she tried to quantify the cost of that and get us to approve it, and ultimately the finance committee to plug it into the budget, so.
Is
But
that
it
something?
was not to find things to go into that year's budget.
No.
Right.
This is supposed
This
to
was
be
a
a
5-year plan.
20-year
Yeah.
outlook.
Yeah, say like the roof at the police station needs to be
So,
done 5 or
right.
7 years from now.
So Jane just sent out an email to everybody asking them to turn this in. So would we want to do that after we collect that information? Set something up for?
I
that?
think we need two separate processes here. One for
okay.
'cause she needs that for the budget for the upcoming year.
Oh, and you just want the walkthrough
This is
separate
a
thing?
much
Okay.
further looking, the
All right.
5-year scope.
Yeah, if we could do half of the town buildings every year, then it
You
spreads it
got it.
out a little
No
bit, to
problem.
Jane's point. So
Okay,
at least every other year, we're physically in each building.
so a building
And there are
walkthrough.
Yeah.
6 buildings, so, 3 a year,
Got it.
That works.
All right, perfect.
if I count correctly.
Unless Jen wants us to do the ball fields too.
Okay. So, human resources best practices. I thought we were centralized human resources, no?
This is not a recommendation from Jen Reynolds. One of her recommendations.
This
and-
number one thing, the
Yeah.
human resources?
Yeah, that came from her.
Really?
Yes.
Hmm.
About just, getting a grant to help us. Maybe, there's not much detail, I apologize, but this best practice is just out there like that, and we would have to come up with how we would want to capitalize on making our human resources more efficient. We really, it is 30 employees,
Yeah.
so I guess there's, like, we talk about the time, how we're doing our time sheets and that kind of, those kind of
Approval
things.
for vacations, whatever
Yeah,
else.
the way we capture that information, could it be improved, that kind of stuff. So
Okay.
that
I
would
could
be.
support that.
And we're gonna take on some of the tax work-off program. They're gonna all have to go through
Oh,
that
yeah,
same
we'll
process.
have a bunch of those.
Because they're
right,
all
that-
gonna get 1099s
Right.
for that. They're responsible for a portion of the tax.
This isn't to do the work, this is to study and make suggestions. of-
Right.
Correct,
Correct.
right.
How to do it
You're
better.
talking about.
Yeah, how to do it better. And
Right.
We're doing it now.
So, I guess, and
I guess I didn't think we were doing it bad. Is my
No, that's why we don't.
But you can
no,
improve.
maybe bad's the wrong word.
So why don't we just,
Inefficient. I didn't.
I'm just reporting to you what,
Yeah, no, I
what they
understand.
asked
Yeah.
for, and we can, no one, this isn't me telling what we're doing, this is just
Yeah.
what the, what some of the department heads turned in,
Sure,
and I'm
oh, yeah.
sharing that with you.
But looking into the HR, you might get some better ideas that are simple and easy to implement and makes it easier for everybody. And
Sure.
keeps us out of some kind of trouble.
This is to apply for a grant?
Correct.
Right.
Yep.
Yes,
I would entertain a motion to approve the human resources best practices and the public safety best practices for the fiscal year 25 CCC best practice program.
So moved.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, fiscal year 25 efficiency and regionalization grant. The purpose of the efficiency and regionalization ENR competitive grant program is to provide financial support for government entities interested in implementing regionalization and other efficiency initiatives that will allow for long-term stability. These grants provide funds for on-time transition costs for municipalities interested in such projects. The fiscal year 25 ENR program will open on September 16th, 2024 and closes on October 10th, 2024 at noon. Municipalities are eligible to submit one individual application and may participate in one multi-jurisdictional application. Grant requests from a single government entity of up to $100,000 will be considered. Grant requests from multi-jurisdictional applications of up to $200,000 will be considered. Projects to consider are Regional Police, Bernardston, Gill, and Leiden, Regional Shared Human Resources, Regional Shared Planning Services, Regional Shared IT Services. That's interesting.
I'd even add on to their regional shared fire services in light of some of the recent press. That's what's going to happen with the OSHA requirements. It's going to put towns like Bernardston, Leiden, Gill, all out of business. We're not going to be able to support a fire department. We're just not going to be able to do it. I think regionalization is going to happen there whether we want it to or not. So it might be worth getting multiple towns into this. I mean, the police one's the natural one because we know that's coming quicker. You know, the Bernardston, Gill, and Leiden piece of it. I don't know. You were on that committee before. Is that a workable grant to look at?
We used their grant, the Leiden
Right.
It
grant.
was a Leiden-Bernardson grant.
Yeah.
Bernardson was included in that grant, so I don't know if you can go for a second one on that.
Well, if we draw into Gill, maybe it's worth an ask to go to the 3 towns.
I'm not sure I'm enthusiastic about Gill, but that's okay. Human resources,
yeah, just combine.
that would allow us the expertise that, but planning services,
That's all, we always want a planner, you know, sharing a planner that we could share with the other towns if need be. That's where that comes from, and then of course the same applies with the IT services.
so we have to pick one?
You don't have to pick any. You
Oh.
just want to discuss. This is about having a discussion about if you as a select board would be interested in maybe talking to the other neighboring towns. Do we want to start one of these?
It talks about a
or-
grant request with the window opening September 16th. Is
Right.
that-
Can we, I look at Jane, can we add this to the September 12th meeting agenda for the 3 towns?
Okay.
To see if they have some ideas of,
There you
yeah,
go.
we're definitely looking
That's a
for
great
IT.
idea.
Let's all 3 of us
Didn't
get
think-
together
yep.
and
Okay,
who
that'd be
wants to be
great.
a lead, maybe we can work it that way. Does that seem fair?
Sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
And then we can kick it up there. That's a
And we'll
great
take
place.
the same information from you, Karen,
Yeah.
to that meeting.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody got it.
It's
in some
and also
form
the
or another,
FERCog sent out, if they're members of the FERCog, they're paying,
They're all members.
yeah, Bob Dean sent out an email about these grants.
And that timing of that meeting happens to be very,
Perfect. Perfect.
I mean,
Yes.
really.
Have we sent out an invite to the 3-town?
I sent emails today, sent you one.
Oh, okay, I haven't read my email, that's why. I've been other occupied today. Good.
I read it, Jane.
Good.
Yeah, so maybe
So
we
did I,
can table
Jane.
that till then. So we have that and see what
Well,
comes of
That's-
it.
yeah.
Meeting, since we're on camera, I don't know who will watch your meetings, but that meeting is the 12th of September at 6:30 here in this room.
As opposed to,
We normally meet at the senior center, but because they're having their floors refinished, I found that there was nothing here, and so I moved it here.
Yep.
And I tried to make a note of that every place I could.
it's good. And we'll put signs up over there to,
Well, we probably better put a sign on the door that
do we have parking?
we have a whole street out there.
It's illegal to park on.
And we have the gravel by the Verizon. They can park across from the
Okay.
fire station.
I don't want anybody towed or ticketed.
We'll park at the senior center and walk to here.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. I'll just walk, save you a
There
parking
you go.
spot. Okay.
Well, here's a question about that, and I don't want to suggest that Gil be invited to the three-town meeting,
Gotcha.
because that's not the point. But if we're going to move in the direction of, let's say, regional policing, I know you just said you weren't thrilled about Gil, but at some point we have to approach them, and would it be better if they're invited to this meeting, whether they show or not is entirely up to them, to specifically just discuss the police, and then they can leave because everything else doesn't really pertain to them.
I
don't
think
know
your
if we wanted
agenda
to do
is
it
pretty
that way.
chock-a-block full.
I don't think they should be invited to this meeting. This is a discussion of whether or not to contact other towns to apply for a grant, or to apply for a grant that might include other towns.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can go to their we can go to their select board meeting
I was
maybe
just going to ask, is it
and
worth
ask if they
finding out
want to
their
join in
appetite
at
or
a
no?
separate.
I mean, but
Right.
they may say, no, we don't want any part of that.
Right,
And that's
right.
fine.
Then it's easy.
That's fine, we just move on.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Old business. Jen Stennis, please.
Jen, you're becoming a regular. We got to pencil you in every meeting now.
Recreation Commission Chair, Bernardston Elementary School before and after school program update. Wait, I gotta read this whole schmear here.
Yeah, I think you should.
I'll just talk.
She'll summarize it for you.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So, there's two-part fold. If they were only to do homework and nothing else, you don't need the EEC. If we offer other activities, then you need the EEC to back it up. And you gotta get licensed. The lady says it's pretty in-depth, but somebody could take it on if they really were like ambitious.
I know I read quickly through it, and I'll admit,
I
very
read
quickly
70
through
pages.
it. Through just the documents we were provided tonight. And
It's a
as
lot.
far as
I'm not gonna lie.
It
exemptions,
is a lot, yes.
we don't qualify for any of these exemptions.
Right.
No.
And licensing, my take of it, what I know of people that have done it, it takes a full-time person for a few weeks to do it. And then it takes somebody in a full-time basis for a couple weeks a year to keep it. I don't know if that's a road we want to go down, personally, my feeling of that. I know I feel for all the people. I know the school's working to try to make something happen for next year.
Right.
Doesn't help us in the short term, but even if we went down this, you're a minimum of 2 or 3 months away if we
Right, and
had full-time help.
It takes 2 months to get your license at the minimum. The lady was really helpful, and like she came back and forth. We've emailed and stuff, but it's pretty intense.
So this doesn't sound good for the program.
No,
Your recommendation is to let it slide this year?
I don't know how else to go about it.
Okay.
I mean, unless we strictly just did homework. That's
Yeah.
the only way.
And it's the whole money piece, that's the tough part. If you could get volunteers, we could do
Well,
it.
you can still do it. You could still have a waiver if it was just the homework piece of it. But what are the kids gonna do when they're done with their schoolwork?
Right.
That's the tricky part.
Well, I do say you made an honest effort at it. You did a lot
Boy,
of
did you.
research.
I tried hard for people, and I feel bad because I don't like to let people down, but I don't know what else to do.
I know Lucy went and did some digging in other communities too, and other parents have probably done some digging we don't even know about.
Oh, yeah.
The school did a bunch of research too, that, I'm not gonna say they put roadblocks in front of us, but it brought stuff to our attention that
Right.
we weren't thinking of.
Right.
So we went looking, you went looking.
Oh, I've been searching. I mean, I looked for every little loophole that I could find.
Is it realistic to expect next year that the school is gonna solve this problem?
I have no idea. I'll be
No idea.
honest. I don't know if they'll get solved. I mean, I know that the same company that the school was using dropped another school in a different district,
Yeah, Turner's.
Turner's Falls.
Really?
So I'm not sure what's happening with that company doing it. So I mean, I don't know much about it.
Patricia Kinsella, the school, Pioneer Valley School Superintendent, is in one of her emails said they're committed to a long-term plan to, resolve this problem. So
And I think-
I read into that. I'm reading into that as being next year,
Right.
for next school year.
And to me, it ties into your point, when the school was just here, we're one short a person from Bernardston on the school committee. And I know I implored some of the folks that were here, and they all have little kids, I get it. For somebody to run as a write-in candidate, as a Bernardston representative on the school committee,
So we have a voice.
even if this
critical.
is one of their driving things they want to try to help get done,
True.
it'd be an awesome opportunity to
Right.
get on the school committee
And
as a
help
rep
out.
from this community to help push that initiative along through the school, because ultimately it's going to come through the school committee.
We sincerely appreciate your
Yes.
help.
Absolutely.
I tried.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I did try.
There's winter break. You got winter break to plan, right?
we
Yeah,
did
and
great.
that's a easy exemption in that policy
Yes,
too.
'cause
All
it's
those
temporary.
Break
Right.
camps
Yeah.
Right.
are,
We don't have to
Easy.
worry.
And the lady came to me, she goes, "Do you need funding?" And I said, "No, we don't really need funding. It's not our problem. It's just getting on board. What do I need to do to make it work?"
for the
And
proper,
she's like, "Oh, really?" So,
yeah, to check the
Yeah.
boxes, and that's all it really
yeah.
is.
I mean, I went back to her and I said, "We got licensed for a camp permit. Is that good enough?" And she says, "No, but that makes it easier on your end." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
But,
Alrighty.
can I talk about rec for like soccer season?
Go for it.
Okay.
Before you do,
Sorry.
can I interject something? Is this a possibility for best practices? Does it fit into any of those categories?
I'd have to look. Thank you. Yeah, I'd have to look into that. I know there is a best practice for school, but it falls under the school. But I'd have to look into that. I will look into that. and
For
get back.
rec programming, maybe it would fall into that.
Yeah, I'll look into that, Jane, and
What
I
does that
can
mean?
provide that at the town.
We might be able to get
pre-town
some money
meeting.
to help us study it if the school couldn't support it next year. We might have a better understanding of truly what we need to do. And you wouldn't have to do the footwork for it.
Gotcha. Okay.
We'll give
Okay.
you some time off.
Oh, gee, thanks. 1 hour.
Soccer.
Soccer. So I think we have roughly 90 kids
Man.
playing soccer,
Wow.
which is great.
Yeah.
I have 4 fields done, which is really good. But the senior fields, I got some mowing issues going on. They mowed 3/4 of one senior field, and it still hasn't been mowed, so I can't paint. And we start our games next week.
Have you
been
talked to
commu-
Brian?
Yeah.
No,
just
so I
nice.
didn't know if there was like some issue going on because I've never had a problem.
Yeah.
You've been painting. I can see
Just
it all
let
over
him
your
know.
Yeah, I
fingers.
know. I was
now.
out there today. Yeah, painting.
Brian
But I didn't know
Minor.
because I know last year he hired kids from was it Greenfield High School or something?
Yeah,
for
that
the
was
program?
That program went away.
Yeah.
Because that was awesome. They were up there like constantly. Okay.
I
so-
think if you
just
bring
give
it to his
Brian.
attention and tell him the timeline,
Okay.
Yep.
So
he'll get
I'll-
it done.
All right. So I'll be in touch with him then. That's
Yeah.
okay.
I know they're working on another project on Fall Mountain, but so
Oh,
it's
Yeah, just let him know.
yeah.
That's easy fix then.
Are these all 90 kids? Are they all Bernardston and Leiden? Did you include Leiden in that?
Yeah, Leiden's in there.
Okay.
We have quite a few Greenfield people.
Really?
And some Montagues because they didn't make the cut, which I don't understand.
Do
It's
they
rec.
limit the number of kids in the rec
Yes.
program?
Wow.
It might be a cap on teams.
And we
or
don't
something.
cap.
Yeah.
We welcome people.
You got enough coaching
Oh,
talent?
we've got more coaches than ever.
Great.
So I have 30 Tiny Tots, which is preschool and some kindergartners, and I have 3 parents helping me out.
That's
which
all?
is great. Oh, it's great. 4 parents? It's great for that age.
Okay.
No.
Student body left, student body right.
No, it works. I make it work. The other thing we discussed at our rec meeting was they were wondering about, in the future, could we have a pavilion up there like Kiwanis does? And how would you go about getting that?
You would put that on your capital needs list, and as we talked earlier.
Okay.
So when we visit your department, the idea of putting that out there.
'Cause
And where would you put this?
at
Pavilion?
Pratt Field,
And it'll be the same thing. You'd have to go through the water department.
right? Because we were thinking, in reality, we could have camp there. Like,
Yeah.
it was an idea, like, we wouldn't have to use a school as much. I mean, we go to the Kiwanis for a week, and the kids love that, but if they could use Pratt Field more, we could utilize it. They were just thinking, like, we could have camp there.
Yeah, I think your bathroom facilities might become an issue then.
Yeah.
What's wrong with our bathrooms?
It's in the water district.
No, we have our,
Yeah, I think if you were gonna run a camp out of there, those bathrooms would become an issue.
oh, there's
There's no running water.
Put that on your capital list too.
Yeah, there's a gentleman dropped off a bathroom, he does rec bathrooms.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'll look at the
I
best
mean,
practices.
nothing that's
for that.
insurmountable, but just stuff to
Yeah.
think
No,
about.
I was
Well, I think
thinking, like,
that it's the running water
That's the
is
key.
part of it. So
Gotcha.
it's not necessarily the bathroom. Because the bathroom, I think, would be fine the way they
Right.
are, but you have to have running water.
So
Gotcha.
this
Which
is
means that water
fall
has to go
season
somewhere.
soccer 90. How many kids were in the program fall season soccer last year?
I think it was like maybe 75 or 80.
Yeah, so it's,
We're growing,
yeah, it's good.
yeah.
And the big jamboree is scheduled
It's
for early November?
2nd. And
Just make sure you mention that to Brian too when you talk to him about the
Okay.
mowing.
Yeah.
And I was told there's 25 junior teams and 22 senior teams.
Coming.
Yeah.
And just keep in mind, if we get a
Wow.
3-inch rainstorm,
We're gonna have
it's gonna have to be canceled.
no. We have a rain day.
Okay?
We
'Cause
had that in mind.
we don't wanna make that mess we made
Yeah.
last year.
No.
Yeah.
So we're doing it on Saturday. Rain date would be Sunday.
Okay.
So we do have a backup day this year.
Did that
3
field?
inches of rain, Sunday's not gonna be far enough away.
Yeah,
No,
depends
but
on- Yeah,
we do have a backup
Right.
day. Or if it
All right.
like snows, then we have a backup
Snow?
day. One year it snowed.
yeah.
Global warming.
October
It's early
31st.
November,
It
Never
It
know.
snowed. Mike was playing, so that's why I don't remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's awesome though, great.
Fantastic. The program is
So
growing.
you will get with Brian Miner about
Yeah.
the, okay,
All right. That's all.
perfect.
You have medical coverage for that? With 90 kids?
I'm pretty lucky that one of the parents,
Okay.
dad's in the fire department.
Oh, okay,
So Byron Call usually comes over and helps out.
good,
Yeah.
good.
He's
Okay,
usually my backup person, and he gets VIP parking because he helps with that. So if
Okay.
you volunteer, you get VIP parking, which is Pratt Road. If not, you're parking in the top lot.
okay,
I'll talk to Brian too, but reach out to him because I
Okay.
can probably help him. I'm not that far away.
Okay.
yeah, great.
All right,
Thank you,
thanks.
thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jen.
Other business unknown at time of posting. We knew this, didn't we? Because it was on last week's discussion.
Well,
Whatever.
we tabled it from the
I see.
special
Okay,
meeting.
so soil testing on town-owned property. On August 27th, random soil testing produced a positive result for arsenic at the south end of the Bernardston Elementary School property. The results show a slightly elevated concentration of arsenic at 21.5 milligrams per kilogram. The reportable threshold is 20, so 21.5, 20 milligrams per kilogram. See attached for test results. The Western Mass Regional Director of the Mass Department of Environmental Protection, DEP, has described the results as, quote, slightly over the reportable concentration, end quote. In the director's words, they are, quote, nowhere near the level of an imminent hazard, end quote. On August 27th and 28th, emails were sent by the school superintendent to the BES community and Senator Comfort's office stating that the town of Bernardston will be managing next steps. Next steps include, but are not limited to, the town will work with the Department of Environmental Protection, DEP. A licensed site professional will gather additional soil samples from both the wooded site adjacent to Bernardston Elementary School and from the BES parcel itself. The results of those samples will dictate any following actions taken by the town. Barbara Killeen, chair of the Bernardston Board of Health, has reviewed the test results as well and will be bringing this matter to the attention of the full Board of Health at the next scheduled monthly meeting on September 5th. We had announced that meeting, I think it's 3:30.
Yes.
Yes. So that's where we are. We're asking for the help of the Board of Health and very interested in their opinion as to what the next steps should be.
Right.
And we'll get an action plan going. Again, because it's just barely over the tolerable limits, the threshold. It's not a immediate, urgent, oh my God, people are going to be dropping dead on the
Right.
on the grass there. But we do need to identify and understand what the impact is going to be and where the concentrations are highest, so we can work up a plan to deal with it. Letter of appreciation. Police Sergeant John Richardson. On August 29th, the Select Board accepted a letter of retirement from Sergeant John Richardson from the Bernardston Police Department. The letter to Sergeant Richardson reads as follows. Dear Sergeant Richardson, we met on August 29th, 2024 and accepted your letter of retirement from the Bernardston Police Department with regret. Please accept our gratitude and appreciation for your caring service to the communities that you serve. We recognize the sacrifices and hardships involved in police work. Day in and day out, you provided essential services to our neighborhoods that helped to keep us safe. Thank you for your focus and dedication to the students at Bernardston Elementary School and for doing a job that puts others first. Your selfless efforts have not gone unnoticed. On behalf of the town of Bernardston, we wish you and your family health, happiness, and success in your next endeavor. He's going over to the Guild Police Department. Stay safe and all the best. Sincerely, the Bernardston Select Board. We truly appreciate his service here.
Absolutely.
Long-time service, and just a terrific personality and great with the kids.
Yep. Awesome guy.
So next up is the Town Administrator Report.
So, last Select Board meeting, we talked about the articles, the bylaws from the annual town meeting, and sure enough, they came back on August 27th, all good to go and approved with some comments. So I'm going to be inserting them into the general bylaws and making sure they're posted on the new website.
Great.
So.
Is there a timeline that once we got the approval that we did just get, that we can actually use those bylaws?
Right now, they're
Right
good.
now.
27 when they came back, and as per what Jane had said too last time, if it was whatever came first, 90 days or 27 August. So.
Okay.
The FY25 Festivals and Projects grant of $2,500 was awarded to the Council on Aging. The funds will support the graveyard tour that the Council on Aging is going to do. Now, it was scheduled for Scarecrow in the Park, and it's been changed to April now, the graveyard tour. But anyway, we received, she's going to use that grant money from Festivals and Projects to pay
Great.
for that endeavor. And then the town clerk's office did receive the check for $5,000 for the 2024 rural and non-metro election infrastructure grant program. So I think the town clerk's considering cameras in town hall, some other secure other items that will make the election process or administration of the election secure.
More secure, yeah.
So that came through too. So we did well with grant awards coming through this week. So.
Great.
That's all I have.
So the bylaw approval process
Yes.
now means we can take action on
Yes.
the parcels in town that are not removing
The unregistered vehicles,
unregistered
right.
vehicles.
I think I think we probably should call the police chief in, have a meeting with the police chief and
Yep.
kind of.
He is the enforcer.
He's the enforcer. Maybe just kind of have a little chat about because he has to have a citation, but there's things he needs to make sure that he has in place
Okay.
to follow through with what it states as well.
Okay.
So it's about maybe gathering the important parties that are involved in this process together and seeing what that looks like. Even though it's in writing, how are we going to go about this?
Right.
Do we have a sense of how many parcels are in violation of this?
I don't personally have that information.
Where would we get that information?
From the chief of police.
Okay.
Yeah, or anybody or any other. That is a vessel of how that information comes in. It comes it comes in several ways. A letter will come to town hall, a phone call to town hall. The chief will be driving around and notice a violation. So we got to talk about that. There's
Okay.
so many ways that a complaint or a violation can be recorded, I guess you could say. So we have to talk about where does that go?
Maybe we could send him that policy again,
Yeah.
just to refresh his memory that,
Sure.
okay, this just did get approved by the AG.
Yeah.
In the near future, we want to have a conversation about so he can maybe
Yeah.
formulate his strategy around it
Right,
before
yeah.
we meet.
Yeah, yes, of course,
It's
I'll,
his strategy, right?
Yeah,
Because
he's the enforcing authority.
he's a strong chief.
Correct.
yeah, it's it's his thing.
Yep.
But again, how, like, if someone calls a complaint in, do we call, you know,
You send it to him.
Yep.
send it to him, right,
Comes in here, goes to.
right. So there you
So
go.
we should direct the citizens to contact the police chief
Correct.
with their concerns about
Right.
particular property.
And that's what I think, you know, talking, you know, like Jane said, that's very true, but Jim needs to be aware of that. That could be an influx of
Yep.
things for him.
Yep.
So we just want to make sure that's all, he understands that too. I don't
Gotcha.
know.
Good.
Cool.
Any other concerns, topics for this evening's meeting? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Have a good evening.